મેનેજ્ડ ટુ અથવા તો સક્સીડેડ ઇનનો જ્યારે આપણે ઉપયોગ કરીએ તો ત્યાં એક બીજી કન્ડિશન આવે છે. સક્સીડેડ ઇન સાથે કન્ડિશન શું આવે છે? ધી આઈએનજી ફોર્મ will be added to the main verb. ing ફોર્મને આપણે મેઇન વર્બ સાથે જોડીશું. I'll just read the note and the important point again. In the situations that we just saw, it is also possible to use managed to or succeeded in instead of was or were able to. But with succeeded in, the ing form will be added to the main verb. દાખલાઓ લઈ લઈએ. For example, the principal was very busy, but still the students managed to meet him. I hope our point is becoming clear now. Same sentence ne બીજી રીતે લઈએ. The principal was very busy, but still the students succeeded in meeting him. Alright, the students succeeded in meeting him. Main verb શું છે? meet. એમાં આપણે condition ing આવે છે. So we have attached that condition. Alright, so this becomes a very important part of our modals for ability. Let's move a little forward. Point number 4 પર આવીએ. ફરીથી યાદ દેવડાવી દઉં. We are still discussing ability. We are discussing modal verbs that can bring out ability. અને ખાસ કરીને એમાં 3 verbs આપણે ડિસ્કસ કરીએ છીએ. can, could, was અથવા were able to, be able to. Alright, let's come to the 4th point on your screen. When we use verbs of perception and thinking, perception and thinking, thought process, વિચારવાની પ્રક્રિયા, એના માટે વિશેષ verbs, ક્રિયાઓનો ઉપયોગ થાય છે. like see, જોવું, hear, સાંભળવું, smell, સૂંઘવું, taste, ચાખવું, feel, મહેસૂસ કરવું, and understand, સમજવું, remember, યાદ રાખવું. આ બધા verbs, they are the verbs of perception, perceive એટલે સમજવું, and thinking, વિચારવું. આ બધાને લગતા આ verbs છે. એ બધાની સાથે which is the ability સૂચક, ક્ષમતા સૂચક modal verb કયું આપણે વાપરીશું? could વાપરીશું. I'll repeat the point again. When we use verbs of perception and thinking like see, hear, smell, taste, feel, and understand, remember, etc., we can use could. For example, could is used with these verbs even if the past situation is a specific situation. યાદ રાખો મિત્રો, આ ઉપર જે verbsની મેં કેટેગરાઇઝેશન કરી આપી છે, perception અને thinking. મેં તમને દાખલાઓ પણ આપ્યા છે. see, hear, smell, taste, feel, understand, remember. આ verbs આપણે કોઈ ભૂતકાળની સ્પેસિફિક ઘટના માટે પણ વાપરતા હોઈએ. In that case also, we have to use the ability modal called could. Alright, let us see a few examples. We could smell the aroma of delicious food from my aunt's kitchen. We were able to, that's wrong. We could. કેમ મેં could નો વપરાશ કર્યો અહીંયા? Because main verb કયો છે? તમારા સ્ક્રીન ઉપર જુઓ, smell. Smell is the main verb. And smell belongs to which category of verbs? Thinking, perception. એટલા માટે which modal verb will I use here? Could. We could smell the aroma of delicious food from my aunt's kitchen. બીજો એક દાખલો લઈએ. Harish could hear a noise outside his window. Again, main verb કયો છે? Hear, સાંભળવું. સાંભળવું અથવા હિયરિંગ કયા મેઇન પ્રકારના વર્બને બિલોંગ કરે છે? થિંકિંગ, perception. એટલે which modal verb will now we use? Could. And therefore the sentence is Harish could hear a noise outside his window. We have one more sentence. The manager could remember the names of all the employees. The manager could remember the names of all the employees. Remember, again thinking. Thinking ne a belong કરે છે આ verb. એટલે again, which modal verb did we use? Could remember. I cannot say the manager was able to. એ ખોટું છે. Alright, so you have to remember all these points. My advice is કે તમે લખી લીધું હશે આ બધું, એના પછી ઘરે જઈને ખાલી માત્ર 10 મિનિટ કાઢીને ફરીથી આ આખું તમારી જે નોટ્સ છે, just go through them. એમને વાંચો એક વખત and you will understand the concept very clearly. Let's move a little forward, come to the screen now. Let's come to the fifth point. For negatives, we only use couldn't or could not for ability in both general or specific situations. Simple point છે. Negativity બતાવવી હોય, negative impression બતાવવું હોય, તો we just have one option, couldn't or could not. For example, my grandmother couldn't write. Was not able to write is wrong. Please do not use that. General situation હોય, specific situation હોય ભૂતકાળની, કોઈ વ્યક્તિમાં ક્ષમતા નહોતી. Some person did not have the ability. એના માટે what do we use? We use couldn't or could not. Let's see if there's another example. Yes, there is. The manager couldn't remember all the names. ઉપર આપણે લીધું, the manager was able to remember all the names, or rather could remember all the names. Here we are taking the negative. The manager couldn't remember all the names. This is a simple point. Friends, I don't think you need any more explanation there. Let's come to the next point. Point number 6. ધ્યાનથી જુઓ તમારા સ્ક્રીન ઉપર. There is a structure. તમને એક structure આપેલું છે. What is that structure? We use could have plus past participle. The structure is could have plus past participle. When do we use this structure? To indicate that someone did have the ability or opportunity to perform an action in the past, but he or she did not do it. મિત્રો, આ સમજો. What is the situation here? ભૂતકાળમાં કોઈ પણ સંજોગો એવા હતા where the concerned person એનામાં એબિલિટી તો હતી. He did have the ability. એની પાસે ક્ષમતા હતી, તક હતી, opportunity હતી. And yet that person chose, he opted for not performing a particular action. Alright, એના માટે we are using a very important structure, could have plus past participle. Indicates that someone did have the ability or opportunity to perform an action in the past, but he or she did not do it. Let us take examples. Meera could have helped me with the project, but she didn't. મીરા પાસે ક્ષમતા હતી, પ્રોજેક્ટ વિશે એને બધી જ ખબર હતી, એની પાસે સમય, તક, ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી જે કહેવું હોય એ પણ હતું. પણ what did she decide? She decided not to help me. So Meera could have plus past participle, help નું past participle, helped. Meera could have helped me with the project but she didn't. બીજો એક દાખલો લઈએ. Ramesh could have told Kamla everything but he chose not to do so. Ramesh could have told Kamla. રમેશ પાસે એબિલિટી ક્ષમતા હતી, રમેશ had the opportunity તક હતી કમલાને બધું જ કહેવા માટેની, but he chose not to do it. And this is terrible. All right? Okay. Let's come to the last point on ability. Can has no infinitive. Infinitive એટલે to. ing form or participles. Can માં આપણે to can ના વાપરી શકીએ, canning ના કરી શકીએ, canned ના કરી શકીએ. Right? Therefore, if the need arises, we use be able to instead of can. તમારે ing ફોર્મ વાપરવું હોય મોડાલની સાથે, ઇન્ફિનિટિવ વાપરવું હોય, અથવા તો મોડાલ વર્બની સાથે પાર્ટિસિપલ ફોર્મ વાપરવું હોય, તો what is the only option that is available? Be able to. Example લઈ લઈએ. In the future, people will be able to live on Mars. Right? We cannot say in the future people can live on Mars or people could live in Mars. That's wrong. આપણે ત્યાં be able to નો જ એક પ્રકાર વાપરવો પડશે. Let's see if there is another sentence. Yes, we cannot say people will can live on Mars. We can't say that. That looks funny. And I hope, friends, we are not using this language. Alright, so can has no infinitive, ing form or participles. If the need arises, we have to form these with the help of be able to. Let's quickly go forward. Let's take a look on the screen. We have come to an end of modal verbs for ability. હવે we come to another extremely important part of our modal verbs, permission. Can, could, may, might, be allowed to. કેટલા બધા છે? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Can, could, may, might, be allowed to. Alright, let's come to the first point. Generally, we use can, could or may to ask permission. Example જોઈ લઈએ. For example, can I borrow your pen? બીજા examples જોઈ લઈએ. Could I attend your lecture? May we make a suggestion? Alright, now note, may is generally used in formal situations. Friends, when you get late in the class, don't you ask your teacher, may I come in? The reason is very clear. Again note, can is used by a more authoritative person and could is more polite and less direct as compared to can. Might is sometimes used to replace may. For example, might we make a suggestion? Always remember, કોઈ senior વ્યક્તિ તમારા પાસેથી કોઈ permission માંગતું હોય તો એ હંમેશા can નો ઉપયોગ કરશે. If your teacher asks a pen, she will always say, can I have your pen? But if you are asking a pen from your teacher, what will you say? May I have your pen? Alright, let's move a little forward and come to the screen. While giving permission to someone, can and may are used. શું નથી વપરાઈ શકતું? Could and might. For example, question જોઈએ. Can I borrow your bicycle? Answer શું છે? Yes, of course, you can. અહીંયા could અથવા might we just cannot use. The same statement can also be written as you can borrow my bicycle. Similarly, could I make a suggestion? Yes, you may. You cannot use could or might. Okay, point number 3. This is an important point. In a conversation, when a reference is made to a law or a rule, that is for those things which are already permitted or not permitted, then we use the modals can't or be अथवा not allowed to. કોઈ નિયમ, કોઈ કાનૂન, કોઈ કાયદો જે મેં નથી બનાવ્યો, તે તમે નથી બનાવ્યો, I haven't made it, you haven't made it, but which exists. A third party has made that kind of a rule. એના માટે how do we frame sentences? Let us take a look on the screen. You can't or aren't allowed to drink alcohol in Gujarat. Now in this example, the speaker is not the one to give or not give permission, but he or she is referring to a law or a rule made by a third party. સરકારનું બનાવેલું નિયમ છે. I am simply talking about it. Let's take one more example. In India, girls can get married, are allowed to get married at the age of 18. બીજો example છે, the students can't, are not allowed to park their vehicles inside the college ground. This is not my rule, this is not your rule, but this is a rule formed by a third party. We have talked today, friends, about two very important functions. Ability, number 1, permission, number 2. However, simply saying that modal verbs are used for ability and permission is not enough. मैं एनी अंदर जईने I have tried my best to offer all kinds of rules, conceptual clarification I have tried to offer, but I will again suggest and I will again request, whatever notes you have taken down today, kindly go home